Welcome back to Flow Made Simple. One of the most popular flows I've ever taught before combines the four most common steel mace swings into a single flow, and it's called the Four Friends Flow. These are the most common swings I've used in my nearly 7 years of mace training, and today I'm going to teach you the Four Friends Flow by breaking down each of those four swings individually and then wrapping it all together. It's going to be a ton of fun, so grab your mace and let's get swinging. The first friend is nice and simple. It is the Steel Mace 360, and fundamentally, the 360 has three main parts to it. We have a push, a pendulum, and a pull. And you can map these easily to creating the swing, initiating the momentum, controlling the swing, controlling the momentum, and arresting the swing, arresting the momentum. And so I'm gonna talk through a few key points and we'll do a few repetitions together and then we'll move on to our second friend. So what it looks like, broken down a little more, that push. I'm going to point the mace straight to the side. It always has to go straight to the side. It cannot point back. Point straight to the side. Next, to finish the push, my hands have to go straight up, not in front of myself and not out to the side. I want my hands to go up. So I'm gonna go up and then allow the mace to drop behind. I wanna find this nice strong pendulum position, have my hands low behind my head as the mace swings. And then from here, I'm going to pull back forward and the hands will come straight back down. And so one more time, a little faster, I'll point straight to the side, hands go straight up, swing the mace coming back behind the head, pull the hands back forward and back to the center line. I wanna keep my elbows in as I complete that pull. So that is the basics of the 360. If you need more of a breakdown, I have some videos linked below that'll break it down into many more steps. This is an incredibly powerful movement and it benefits from all the detail. But here's what we're doing today. You can join me now. We're just gonna do a few repetitions. I'm gonna point the mace straight to the side, mind you. Hands go straight up overhead. Drop the hands back behind the head as you swing and then pull back through. So point the mace, push the hands up, swing, pull back to the center. Point the mace to the side, hands go straight up, swing, pull back through. Point to the side, hands go up, hands go behind, and pull back through. And so again, push, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. And we'll do a few repetitions on the other side just to even it out. Same thing, point straight to the side, drop the mace down, hands go straight up, pendulum, and then pull back to the center. Elbows stay in towards the ribs. Point to the side, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. One more. Push, pendulum, pull. There you go. So that's a very basic introduction to the 360. Hopefully you're feeling pretty comfortable with this particular movement. If you're watching this video, again, if you're not, I have a ton of resources on how to perform it and how to eliminate common mistakes. All of that's linked below. Now, next I want to push on right ahead to the Steel Mace Mill, which is the second friend. Now, the Steel Mace Mill is the opposite of the Steel Mace 360, and it looks like this. And it's because we are opening the shoulder joint as opposed to the 360 in which we close the shoulder joint. And so that's the key differentiating factor there. Now, the three parts are still there. We have a push to initiate the swing, a pendulum, and then a longer pull out to the side before we return to the center line. So it's a slightly longer swing than the 360, but the basic parts are still there. Now, the primary keys I want you to pay attention to as you do this swing are that one, my hand still needs to go straight up as I initiate the push. And specifically, this is a key that is very subtle. I want the elbow to actually come in and then go back out. I call this drill an elbow crescent, and if you want more practice with it, you can flip your mace upside down into sword grip and practice the same thing. So the elbow would come in towards the center line and then back out to this position. And you can practice just kind of greasing that groove, having the elbow go in and out. And this is a really powerful drill for making your mills more efficient. So we're gonna come back into it. In the mill, I had the push, elbow comes in, back out. In this particular posture, again, to allow that pendulum, I wanna have the hand pretty low down so the elbow points up, just like the 360. And then I'll be able to pull out to the side, tail goes behind the body, mace head points straight to the side, swing through, and return to the center line. Again, there's a lot of detail you can break this down into, but here are the simple parts. We have the push, pendulum, pull out to the side, and then we return back to center. Push, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. And that's what you want to keep in mind. So let's do a few repetitions together, and then we'll move on to our third friend. So I'm going to begin in warrior stance, both hands bottom of the mace. Bring one hand into center grip on the knurling just so it's easier to control. And then I'm going to initiate the push, initiate the swing. So I'm going to push the hand straight up. Head of the mace is going to drop out to the side, back behind. Pendulum and pull out to the side, and then tail goes behind, mace head points straight to the side, and return back to that center line. It should be very close towards your body. And same thing, I'm gonna push, pendulum, pull, return to center. Push, pendulum, pull, return to center. 3 more. Push, pendulum, pull, return to center. Push, pendulum, pull. Last one, push, pendulum, pull. Very nice, we'll switch sides now, just even it out again. Switch hands, so now my left hand is center grip on the mace, and same thing. I'm going to push the hand straight up to initiate that push, and then I'm going to allow the mace to come back behind. Hand anchors in this nice spot here. Pendulum, pull out to the side. Mace tail goes behind, head points straight out, and swing through. Push, pendulum, pull. Return to center. Push, pendulum, pull. Return to center. Push, pendulum, pull. And you can repeat. Push, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. Push, pendulum, pull. Very nice. And from there you can take a short rest. What I want you to take away from the steel mace mill, this is very important, is that we can break these things down so that you can actually arrest the momentum as you go through this. But at the end of the day, the swing is continuous. And that's what we're, in the end, building towards. And that's very important for the Four Friends flow, because the idea is that we're able to transition seamlessly from one swing into the next. So now we've done 2 of the friends. Now we're on to the third one. This one is called a drop swing, also called an outside circle. And it looks like this. I'm gonna swing the mace out to the side, like so. Pretty basic. Now the thing you're probably thinking of is, how do I make sure I don't hit my toes? The key to that is actually really simple. If you can hold your mace like this and you're well above your toes, then you are just fine. If you feel like you're getting a little close to your toes, just choke up on the mace a little bit. It's not a huge deal, and I'll give you a specific cue to help you with that. Now, the point of this particular swing is that we are now able to move the mace in front of the body in a specific direction. And the reason it's called an outside circle is because I'm pushing the mace away from my center line to initiate the swing and then bringing it back in, right? So away from my center line and pulling it back in. So it's a pretty basic swing. There's one essential key you have to pay attention to though, and that is always swing the mace straight to the side. Just like the 360, just like the mill, I always want to make sure I'm pointing the mace straight to the side like a grandfather clock, and I'm not setting the trajectory, I'm not initiating it at an angle and coming across. That's the one thing I really don't want to do. So this is our drop swing, outside circle, same thing. Let's practice a few of them together. So you can hold at the bottom of the mace, or if you want to choke up, you can bring your hand slightly higher. Now the key here is specifically that I'm gonna want to keep the mace tail behind the arm. It's just gonna make it easier and more controlled for me to do it that way. And so from this particular posture, I'll push the mace straight out to the side, swing through, or you can keep the mace tail just kind of inside between the arms if you're doing both hands like I am, and you'll simply swing across. You can push out like so, straight to the side, nice and controlled. You can notice I'm turning my body with the mace. That's probably the other really important aspect of this particular movement, is that I want to be paying attention to how my body is oriented relative to the mace as it swings. So this is our drop swing, and you'll see how this folds into the Four Friends flow in a few minutes. I want you to just get comfortable, practicing this particular movement. You can also try with one hand, and in that scenario, again, you can have the mace tail go behind and swing across, like so. Just make sure it feels controlled, and again, you're turning your body with the mace as it swings. So very nice. That was our third friend. Now the fourth friend is relatively similar. It is going to be an inside circle or something called a samurai swing. Two fun names for it. Now fundamentally what it looks like is this. You're doing this particular movement, and that's because I'm going to be holding the mace, right? If my hand is in front of my same side shoulder, then to initiate the swing, the mace has to come inside towards my center line before I initiate the swing. Whereas the outside circle had me pushing away from that center line immediately. So that's the key difference, is just which direction I'm pushing the mace as I initiate the swing. Now the key here is that for the samurai swing, you need to have a good amount of wrist mobility. It's gonna involve the bicep, it's gonna involve the wrists, and so just be mindful of that. You can grab a lighter mace if that's a concern for you. Just like our drop swing, make sure that you feel comfortable not hitting your toes. That's rather important here. And if you want to choke up, you can a little bit. I wouldn't choke up too high, but you certainly can a bit. And same thing is going to apply here. And you can also do this with two hands. So relatively straightforward. Again, we're swinging straight to the side here. So let's practice a few repetitions together, and then we'll be ready to string it all together into the flow. So from warrior stance, both hands bottom of the mace. You can do this movement with one hand or with two hands. I'm going to start with two and then I'll move on to one. So both hands bottom of the mace, or you can choke up slightly, and I'm just going to tip the mace straight to the side and then swing. Return back to center, swing. Return back to center, swing. Return back to center, swing. And you can really just continue. This should feel somewhat easy, like you're just making this nice circle. You're turning your body slightly with the mace, bring it back to center every single time. Nice and simple. And you can switch directions here, practicing a few repetitions going the other way. Again, you'll notice that your wrists and your biceps get a little bit more engaged with this one. Do one more. Very nice. And I'm just gonna do a few one-handed ones so you can see what that looks like. Again, I'll be gripping. You can choke up or stay closer down to the tail. And then again, I'll bring it inside towards my center line, drop it down and swing across. And the key with this, I'll flip around towards the camera so you can see, is that I'll be doing this swing with my wrist pretty extended. And so again, this is where it gets really challenging. So you can start with just the two hands and build up towards the one hand as you like. And that is really all that the samurai swing is about. It's a very fun movement, a very cool one, and it works really well in flow. And that's what we're gonna dive into next. So we've completed the four friends. We got the 360, the mill, the drop swing, and the samurai swing. Now let's put it into flow. Now our first version of the flow is something I call the two friends flow. You can do this in every single warm-up. It's one of my personal favorites. I always do it in a warm-up, and it looks like this. I will do a 360 with both hands, bring it back to center, grip in the middle, mill out to the side. I'm gonna release, coming up towards the tail, and then 360. Again, you can do that with two hands or one. So I'll show you a few more repetitions. Two-handed 360, mill, swing across the body, catch, 360, mill. What I'm looking to do here is keep the momentum going the same direction between the 360 and the mill. And then I'm going to arrest it and then initiate the same movement on the other side. That is the key to the two friends flow. Again, you can do this with a two-handed 360 or a one-handed 360, which looks like this. This is generally my personal preference, but it's a little bit more advanced, so make sure that you feel comfortable swinging your 360s with just one hand before you give this a shot. So there you go, that's the two friends flow. Let's do a few repetitions together so that you can practice along with me, and I'll break it down nice and slowly. So I'm gonna start in warrior stance, both hands bottom of the mace, point the mace straight to the side, push, pendulum, pull. Now, because I was swinging the mace, I initiated over my left shoulder. My left hand is gonna come to the middle of the mace, and then again, mill, push, pendulum, pull. And return back across the body. Regrip at the bottom here, and then same thing. I'm already pointing the mace straight to the side here, so push, pendulum, pull. Because I pointed over the right shoulder, my right hand grabs the middle of the mace. Push, pendulum, pull for that mill. Bring it across the body, slide the hand down, 360, push, pendulum, pull. Mill, push, pendulum, pull. Come across the body, and again, 360. Mill. Swing across, reconnect, 360. Mill. 360. Mill. One more, 360. Mill. Very nice. Now, if you're struggling with this one, there's one way to make it much, much easier, and it's very simple. It's just gonna cover that real quick and we'll move on. It is to do your 360, do your mill, and then instead of stopping the momentum of the mace out to the side, I'm gonna bring it fully back to the center. And then I can repeat it on the other side. And so this is gonna be the simpler way to do it because you're stopping the momentum of the mace at a more advantageous point. It's easier to stop the momentum here and control it than it is to stop the momentum here and control it. So that's our 2 friends flow. Now we're moving on to the 3 friends flow. Another one that I also do in every single workout. Looks like this, 360, one arm drop swing, mill, swing across, same thing, 360, drop swing, mill, 360, drop swing, mill. Now what you noticed on that is that I was interchanging 2-handed swings with 1-handed swings. This flow is gonna work with both, so don't worry about that too much. Start out with your 2 hands and then we'll go down to 1, which is exactly what we're gonna do now as we practice a few repetitions of the 3 friends flow. So I'm gonna come into my warrior stance, both hands bottom of the mace, and from here, I'm going to point the mace over to the side, push my hands straight up, pendulum, pull. Now once I've gotten here, I'm going to reverse the direction of the mace. And so even though I swung the mace going this direction, I'm now going to go over the right shoulder or towards the right shoulder. So I'll drop swing outside, arrest the momentum once more, catch in the middle, mill, and then swing out to the side where you can come back to center to make it easier. Reconnect both hands at the bottom of the mace. And here's our 360 again. So point to the side, push, pendulum, pull. Now, here's our drop swing. So I'll point the mace back the direction it came, swing through, arrest the momentum once more, catch in the middle, and mill, push, pendulum, pull. Come back through and we'll repeat the same thing. So, initiate the swing, 360, arrest the momentum, drop swing from the way it came, and mill out to the side. Return back, and same thing, 360 over my right shoulder, arrest the momentum, drop swing going towards the left, arrest the momentum, mill over the right shoulder, and come back. We'll do one more on each side. So point the mace over the left shoulder, 360. Arrest the momentum, drop swing towards the right, arrest the momentum, mill over the left shoulder, swing across and repeat. 360 over the right shoulder, arrest the momentum, drop swing towards the left, and mill towards the right shoulder. And you can rest. So you can definitely repeat that section if it feels confusing, but the base principle is you're doing 360, drop swing, and a mill. And each time as we complete a swing, we arrest the momentum and then we switch it to go the other way. And that's how we go through it. And so we're looking to make it as smooth as possible. And you can also, again, do this with one-handed swings the whole time like I am right now. And it looks like this. And so you can see that there's a certain grace to the pattern of it. And I'm also making these momentum switches when the mace is horizontal. So I'm not actually pulling back to a full vertical every single time, but rather I'm letting the momentum stop here, swing across, stop here, mill. And then I like to repeat. And in that way, it feels more kind of conservative of energy just from my own personal feeling. You'll have to find out what works for you. But that's our 3 friends flow. 360, drop swing, mill. And now we're on to the final evolution, the 4 friends flow. I'm gonna demonstrate it first, and then I'm going to break it down and teach it to you, and we can practice it. So here's what it looks like. I'll do it with one hand to start here. 360, drop swing, mill step across, samurai swing. 360, drop swing, mill, samurai swing. Looks like a lot, right? It's because all the swings are kind of blending together. And there's also that pivot in there, which makes it more complicated by far. So we're gonna break all that down. First things first, I'm gonna break down the pivot. Now, you can actually set your mace down for a second for this. And here is how you're gonna do it. You can see my feet, shoulder width apart. This is our basic stance throughout this entire video. Now, to do a pivot, you have two options. You can either step behind and turn 180 degrees, or you can step in front and turn 180 degrees. It's up to you. And right now, as you're watching this video, I want you to try both and see what feels more natural to you, because it's gonna show up in the Four Friends flow in just a couple seconds. So again, shoulder width apart, one foot either steps behind or in front, and then flip. One foot steps behind or in front, and flip. And that's what we're going to be practicing here. I tend to prefer personally to step behind because I think it gives more stability for my pivot. However, there's a certain benefit to pivoting with a front step instead of that back step. So again, try it out. You can even pause the video if you need another few seconds just to be able to explore this for yourself. But I want you to practice what this actually feels like in your body so that you understand how to make this pivot happen. So with all that said, you can pick up the mace again, and we're going to apply this. Now, I'm gonna give you a very specific step as I break down this flow, and I'm gonna talk about it right now. And I'm gonna face away so it makes more sense. As I do this flow, I'm gonna do 360, drop swing, mill, and I'm gonna step, and I wanna pull the mace back into my center line before I initiate my samurai swing. This is the key intersection I wanna hit. So I initiate that mill, it's out to the side, and instead of pulling straight out to this side, I'm doing the same action, but I'm gonna be stepping into it. And I want it to be coming back towards my sternum, back in towards my center line. So one more time, I'll demonstrate. This mill is gonna open up, swing, and instead of just pulling, it's the same action as pulling out to the side. It's the same thing as that shield cast, that pull. What I want it to look like is I'm gonna step in towards it. That's what I'm looking to do. And that's the key point. And so I'm gonna break down this flow. Now that you know that part, which is the key part, we're gonna do this whole thing together. So I'm gonna face away. Warrior stance, both hands bottom of the mace. Remember, it's 360, drop swing, mill, and samurai swing. So here we go. Point the mace over the left shoulder. Pendulum, pull. I'm going to drop swing, pointing towards the right shoulder. So swing across, mill, catching in the middle of the mace. And here's where I'm going to front step. So I'm gonna push the mace up, pendulum, front step or back step, and then pull into this particular posture. I know you're facing away from the camera right now if you're following me, but I'll take a second, look back, and make sure that you look exactly how I do. And from here, the last part of this is going to be that samurai swing. So what I'm going to do is tuck the mace behind the arm, pointing the mace towards the right, and then I'm just going to swing out. Catch the mace, and again, you can look back at your screen. You can just kind of turn your body and look at me, and I'm holding the mace out in my left hand towards the left side of my body. And from there, we're ready to initiate the next 360. And so I'm going to bring the mace back in towards my center line, point the mace over my right shoulder, 360. Drop swing, pointing the mace left. Swing through, reconnect with the mill, back step or front step, pendulum, pull back through. And then now you're facing back towards the video again, and I'm going to finish this this flow by bringing the mace and pointing it left, swinging across the body and coming back to the front. And so we're gonna practice that a few more times. So you can bring both hands back down to the bottom of the mace. This is the tricky flow, so we're gonna reset it. Both hands bottom of the mace, point the mace over the left shoulder. pendulum, pull. Now, drop swing. Point towards the right to initiate the swing. Swing across, arrest the momentum. Left hand grabs center grip, mill, step across and pivot, pulling back towards the center line. And you can look back at your camera, or sorry, back at your video. I'm on the camera. And you should look like this. And then I'll point the mace head towards the right and swing across, catching with both hands at the bottom of the mace, ready to do your next 360. And then I'll point the mace over the right shoulder, 360. Drop swing pointing towards the left. And then I'm going to bring my right hand to the center of the mace and then mill, step back or step in front and pull the mace back into that center line. And then point the mace head left, samurai swing, return back. Now we're gonna do another round. So I'm gonna point the mace towards the left, dropping the hand down, 360. Drop swing towards the right. Left hand grabs center grip on the mace, pivot, mill, pull back to center. Point the mace towards the right. Swing across, come back to center. Dropping the hands back down, and I'll point the mace towards the right now, 360. Drop swing to the left. Right hand comes to center grip on the mace, mill, pivot, and pull through. And then point the mace head towards the left, swing across, and catch. We'll do one more round of this, and that'll bring us to the end here. I'm gonna drop the mace down, point the mace over the left shoulder, 360. Drop swing to the right. Left hand grabs the middle of the mace, step across and mill, pulling back to center. Mace continues the same direction it's going. Point right and swing. Come back to center, drop the hands down, point the mace over the right shoulder, 360. Drop swing to the left. Right hand grabs center grip of the mace, pivot and mill. Very nice. Mace points left, swing across, and you're coming back to warrior stance. You can take a rest. Now there's one more thing before you leave this video that you have to know about this flow. What I just did was I broke it down into its constituent parts. I said, okay, here's each of the 4 swings, and this is how we start them, this is how we stop them, right? We're encouraging and arresting momentum. Now, as you get good at this flow, what you'll notice is 1, you can go from 2 hands down to 1 hand, and 2, you're gonna make it smoother. So it'll look like this. And you can continue right into, whoops, I did that the wrong way. It's embarrassing, I'll reset that. 360, drop swing, mill, samurai swing, 360, drop swing, mill, samurai swing, 360, drop swing, mill, samurai swing, 360, drop swing. You get the picture. We're going from one right into the next, and that takes a little bit of time. Last bit, you can also explore choking your hands lower down on the mace as you get better at this. So if you feel comfortable doing a mill from the tail of the mace, you can do that. And then continue your samurai swing into your 360 and continue like so. The idea here is that you want to practice the basic pieces of it so you understand each of the individual swings before you start putting it together. Again, make sure that you also know the 2 friends flow and you know the 3 friends flow before you get into this 4 friends flow. So this is the 4 friends flow tutorial. Hope you had a blast with it. Please share it with a friend if you enjoyed this. These are the most common swings, the most useful ones. Share this with a steel mace friend if you want them to have a blast, and I will see you on the next Flow Made Simple video. So thank you very much for watching, and may the mace be with you.